Hi, in this video, I'd like to talk about the difference between subroutines, functions, and methods. Now, before I get into the code, I just want to quickly talk about the three. Subroutines, or sometimes called procedures, they're basically code that you can reuse. Functions are a type of subroutine. Basically, they must have a return type, and I'll explain those a little bit better more when I get into the code. And lastly, methods is kind of an umbrella term for both of the above, the function and subroutines, but it's used in context of objects. And again, I'll try to explain all of this. So ultimately, why do we use them? Well, just like before, you don't want to repeat yourself. You don't want to write code that's very similar or the same again over and over again. So you want to kind of put them into a nice place where you can call them and reuse them. And that's ultimately their goal. So let's get started. All right, so let me start a new project, add a new project, and I'll call this project meth, and I'll make that the start project. Okay, so let's say you wanted to do a search. You wanted to search an array. Okay, so let's do that. Let's search an array. So you double click and go into form load, and you create an array. Let's call this array numbers, and let's put in, I don't know, four locations, because you start at 0. And in form load, I'll just load a bunch of numbers in there. Actually, I'll just order the numbers. So what I'll do is I'll use a for loop. So for index equals 0 to numbers is our array dot count minus 1. We want to just generate some numbers for it. So we'll go numbers index equals index. And we just do that. So in the location 0, you have the number 0. In location 1, you have the number 1, so forth and so on. So we just make it easy there. And what I want to do is I want to search for a number. So I want to do a search for a number. So I'll write a linear search. All right. So a linear search is basically you look through an array and you check one by one the array. So we'll write one there. We'll write for index 0 to numbers dot count minus 1. We're going to go. We need some kind of target. So let's say we grab from the user input box. We grab from the user input box, and then we just go search item, search value, and we need to grab it from the user, dim target, say. Search value goes into the target, and we'll go through the array here. We go through the array, and when we find it, we'll set something to true. So we'll go dim is found equals false for now, and we'll set that to true when we find it. So if target is the same as whatever's inside the array, our numbers array. Okay, we will go A is found equals true, and we'll exit for loop. Alright, so that's our linear search. And finally, if is found, we can, we should save where the index is. So if it's found, the target index right now is -1 for now, but our target index we need to save here. Target index minus we'll save the index. We can go console.write line target index, whatever it found. If it's a -1, it didn't find anything. If it's 5, it found it in location 5. So this is our loop, our search. Now let me show you a subroutine. So I'm going to put this search in a subroutine so I can use it anytime I need to do a search. So what I'll do is I'll write a subroutine here. So I can go private sub. I'll write private sub, and I'll call this linear search. Right, linear search. And what I'll do is I want to accept two things. I want to accept an array. So I'll write by ref. By ref or val? By ref. By ref is cool. By ref, and we want some kind of array. An array, and then we might want to get some kind of target value. Target. So by val target as integer, and this one as an array. As an array of integers, and then we end sub there. So a few things here. My subroutine is something that I can reuse. It takes in 2 arguments with a comma there. All right, so it takes into one argument is the array, and another argument is what we're searching in the array. And what I can do now is this code, this target value input box, I won't put inside the because I'm going to pass it into there. I can grab all of this code and thinking, I just copy it and then paste it into here. All right, now. Right now I'm searching the numbers array, but I don't want to, I want to search any array. I want to put in the array I want to search. Well, let's say I had like numbers, and I had another numbers array, numbers 1 array, right, with a bigger location, right? So I want my function to be smart enough to go, hey, I don't care what array you give me, I can still handle it. So we write the word array. So we're going to pass some array in there. So all of these numbers here, I need to change it to an array. I think that's all I've used it. And then target is target there. Okay, now next. This is pretty much it. This is a subroutine. Now I can have as many inputs as I like. I can add another input by val, I don't know, some kind of message, and over here, some kind of message. I don't need to use it as string. So now there's 3. So I can add as many as I like. For these particular things, you want to keep them lowercase. See how they're all lowercase? I don't want to use any uppercase in these parameters or these arguments. I only want 2 here. All right, so now that I've got this function here, this search function, form load loads in, puts stuff in the array, finds a target gets a target from the user, but it doesn't do the linear search because this thing doesn't. You need to actually use it. So I'm going to use it now. So to use the subroutine, I go linear search, and then I put in the array that I want to search in. So I can put any of one of these arrays. So I'll put numbers. All right, because that's the way I've designed it. I've designed the first thing I put in, and then the second thing I put in is the target. So I just chuck in this target. And that's it. So it will put in this and put in this. These things get transferred here and here, and then something happens, and then I get a right line out. Let's try that and see what happens. So let me try to search for the number 3, because I know both arrays has 3 in it, and they should be in location 3. Okay, so straight away it executes and it jumps straight to the search, straight to this, and I'll just put the number 3. All right, now let's have a look at output, and can you see there? It found it at the index 3. Okay, let's do a little bit of an extra thing. We'll actually go by val message as string, and I'll just add message here, and I think that's it. So whatever I put in here now gets used here, and you notice up here it's an error, because it's expecting another input. If I highlight that, you can see there's 3 inputs that it requires: R, target, and message, because I've added an extra one. And in the message, I might just write the index is. Okay, let's try that. So I'll put 3 in again, and the output should go, the index is 3. 3, okay. And then let's look. And, I need to do a conversion, because right now you got to mix one's a string, so I got to 2-string this thing, else it won't work, because it's trying to add a number to a string and it's confused. Okay, we'll go 3, okay, and the index is 3. So the index is, which is grabbed from this. And this is pretty much a subroutine. So now I can reuse the search anywhere else. I could put in a button, and I can use the search. I can use this search here. So I can copy and paste it here, and I could go, the button produced found the index. So this is a different one, right? And I could search a different, I can search this one here instead, which is empty. So I might just, maybe not. I'll use the button instead. I won't, because I haven't put anything in the other array, so I'll just use the first array I made. I put the number 2. And you can see the index is 2, and if I search for something past 3, which is like 5, or should be -1, we couldn't find it. So I'll go 5, and the index should be -1. Oh, that's right, if it's found. If it's not found, nothing happens. Or I should go else. Nothing happens. Didn't find anything. Couldn't find it. And there you go. So that's a subroutine. So a subroutine can be designed to take as many inputs as you like, do something, and that's it. Just does something and maybe prints a few things off. So what's the I can call that sub, because it is a sub. I'll just write sub here, because it's a linear sub. It's a sub.